the second time in a month, you probably had to stand up in front of your teammates or have some difficult conversations with teammates about something that just a lightning bolt, basically, that hit. What's that process been like, and what's your emotions been like over the last couple of days?
My emotions have been on a roller coaster, so to speak, this year. And my heart goes out so much. Try and say it with a straight face, because I've already been emotional about every bit of this. But to the family, to all the families involved, no one ever wants to see this, whether it's a football player or not. You never want to see something like this happen. And it broke my wife and I's heart, honestly. And we talked about it a little bit, but I can only talk about it so much, But at the same time, whether it's fair or not, I have to compartmentalize, and I have a job to do. These are two totally different situations. Some similar emotions, some very different emotions. But the message has to stay the same. Honestly, I don't want it to right now. If I'm selfish, I don't want it to. I want to say a lot of different things. But we have a game this week, and I've got a job to do, and so do the guys in that locker room. And from that aspect, from a football aspect, I hate to talk about both in the same thing, but it's weird, and that's what we're doing, right? From a football aspect, every man in that locker room kind of feels the same way, but we have work to do. We had to come out and practice. We had film study Monday and Tuesday. We have, all of these things that we still have to do, right? And so I don't know the right way to handle it, but I'm doing my best.
You've made a career out of game planning against difficult situations, but inexplicable tragedy doesn't really have much of a game plan. How helpless is that as a guy who wants to control?
Yeah, just for me personally, in my own life, I've experienced loss, and so I know that feeling, and so my heart first goes to the families that are involved. Okay, when there's things that happen in life for all of us that we don't have control over, and you wish you did. I have 1,000 questions I wish I could ask, but I don't get those opportunities. I don't understand everything and why certain things happen, and I just forever have relied on the foundation of who I am, is my faith, and I'm going to stand on that when it's hard, and I'm going to stand on it when it's easy, and that's just who I'm going to be when I can control something and when I can't. And so when it comes to this situation, there's so many things out of our control, but then I do sit back and I think, was there something, did I not let him know that he really could, I'd be there for him at 3 a.m. I want to be better. I think I really look at everything in my life as a learning experience. Could I have been better, to help or something? I just wish I could have done something. I look at it that way. Could I have done anything to help? Even when it seems impossible, is there any little thing I could have done better? And I know it's a crazy thing to even think or say, but I'm always looking at trying to be a better person.
How would you characterize yesterday like for you? What was yesterday like for you? Just kind of when the news started trickling out.
It was emotional. When I see things, it's weird when you have kids, how things can be a little bit more emotional than they used to be. That's for sure. Now that I have 4, of my own, instantly my thoughts go to certain places and things like that. And it's hard. It's not easy. I can promise you that. It is a tragic thing. And again, I know as most of you probably even know more than me, but I know as much as I've seen or heard. But I really don't know the right thing to say to somebody. I try my best to be there in support of someone or be there for anybody if I knew who to be there for and all those things. But, my thoughts, I guess, selfishly went to my own kids or my own family and how do I teach them, how do I take this and turn it into a learning experience, and things like that, because no one, including Henry, wanted this to happen.
How would you characterize the mental state of this team right now?
From a football aspect, I mean, we're ready to go. We had a great practice. We're dealing with a lot of things this year, that's for sure. A lot of guys, just what a crazy year. I heard that a couple times. I heard, goodness gracious, like, man, just like, can we please, nothing else, not for our own sake, but just for the sake of everyone else, just for everyone involved, But from a football aspect, from a competitive aspect, we're ready to play football. There's no doubt about that. We know where we're at from that standpoint, and we know what we have to do. We know that this was a time of year where we hit a lull a couple times, and we can't let that happen, no matter what's going on. Me and 9-1, me and Jan say it to each other every day. Nobody cares. At the end of the day, nobody cares what we're going through, how your body feels. Nobody cares. We gotta do our job, and we emphasize that to each other again today. Hey, I got your back, you got mine. Nobody cares, man. We got to go. And before practice, during practice, after practice, we're always just trying to push whoever's listening. That is it fair? No, because I want to have emotions about things. I want to think about things as a human being. Football is secondary when something like this happens. We're talking about lives, and a lot of different lives and a lot of different situations. But for us, from a football aspect, our mindset is we're going to be ready to play. That's for sure.
Just about how tragic this all is, to kind of turn the negative to a positive. You sang the praise of Henry, I'm saying the praise of Zay Jones. Those guys are going to have to step up in a situation like this. Are you really excited to see what this is going to bring out of them?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm very excited. I think I've always thought the world of Isaiah. I've always thought the world of Hunter. I've thought the world of those guys. And obviously Hunter has gotten a lot of opportunities. Now Zay and our other guys, they're going to get a lot more opportunities. And I am excited for them, because they work so hard. I think a common theme of when I've talked about Zay is how hard he works. And I think you guys have seen it in training camp, and how just the relentlessness he practices with. And it's literally every day. He's the hardest practicing person I've ever seen in my life. I am excited for him. Like when he's made plays in the games, you guys hear I talk about him after the game. I'm just so excited for him. Now he has a very big role. The roles change, in the NFL quickly. And his role has changed just along with some other guys. Roles are going to change. But it's still, whatever your role is, do it to the best of your ability. And, it's got to be like nothing ever happened. When Darren Waller goes out and he says, I can't play, well, Foster Moreau has to step up and be the starting tight end, and he has a big day, And it wasn't just because it just happened. It was because he's prepared for that moment. And I think Zay and all these guys have prepared for this moment.
Before the bye, we had asked about, is it a good time for the bye when you're playing so well and everything else? And you said, we haven't really had a chance to process with John and everything else.
Yeah.
Now, you still haven't really, I guess, had that chance, and now something else happened. So, like, how does that process kind of go now? And you got to be on the field in a couple of days.
Yeah, I just don't get that chance, Again, life's not fair. It's a good learning experience for my boys and my little girl that I'll teach them. Life is tough sometimes, and it's not fair, and it doesn't care sometimes. But you're going to hold true to what you believe, and you're going to hold true to who you are, and you're going to be that person whether it's easy or it's not. And that's the standard that I'm going to hold my children to, and that's the standard I hold myself to. If I can't do it, then how can I tell them to do it, And so it's hard sometimes. Life sucks, and it's hard, but I can assure you life is a lot more difficult for some other people today than it is for me.
You guys have gone through a lot of changes to offense this year between injuries and play caller change, and obviously losing a big piece of your offense to Ruggs. What's kind of the key to you as an offense and overall unit staying on track moving forward? How do you practically put that together?
I think the one word I can think of is selfless. Our superstar player and our tight end is the most selfless player on our team, and when your best player is your most selfless player, everyone has to fall in line, Who can argue about not getting targets if his targets go from 20 to 4 one day. He's the biggest cheerleader on the sideline the game that he's not playing. He's the most supportive. And I would say that just being selfless and being prepared. What I love about when Gru was here, what I love about Coach Passacha and what I love about Mr. Mayock is if you don't work hard, you just won't be here. And I love that because I don't have to pull teeth every day. I know that if they don't work hard, they've shown me over time that you're just not going to be here if you're not going to be ready and prepared when it's your time. And for these guys, for our offense, the word I'd just say is selfless. Zay Jones is the hardest practicing guy ever, knowing that Henry Ruggs was going to take every rep until he was tired. And now because he played so hard, because he practiced so hard, and we all believed in him, what a great opportunity, and an exciting moment for him. And just some other guys that I won't name because they may have to play for us and have roles too. But they have prepared for this moment, and that makes me excited, like I said, for those guys because I know they're ready.
Derek, this team has a real we and not a me mentality.
Yeah.
Do you think that's part of the reason for the resiliency in dealing with John and your optimism moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, anyone who's covered our team for a long time, some more than others, I've always been glass half full, and even when I didn't want to be, maybe a few times you can catch me in a bad mood, but I've tried my best to stay positive, and just always be someone that some little kid that's a Raider fan could look to and be like, man, he's going through a tough time, but man, how does he have joy like that? How can he still be a good teammate? How can he, honestly, these are the things I'm going to teach my children way above, like, this is how you throw a slant, like I don't even teach them. Some of them naturally just do it, but I will teach them lessons on character and things like that. And that's what our team is built a group of men that I've said the word unity a lot. You said we, Coach Passacha always says we fence, all these different things, right? And we have just a group of unselfish people that I say it all the time. It would just be so great to go on a run with this group of guys. It really would, because no one cares who gets the glory. We've thrown the ball for a lot of yards, and that's awesome. Josh is the first one high-fiving me on the sideline, like, keep going, because he knows it's going to open him up. And as soon as he's rolling, I'm like, bro, keep going, because I know the play action and all that's going to be there. So when you have guys that are good football players but even better people, you end up with a good football team. That doesn't guarantee you're going to win, but it does make coming to work a lot more fun.
Have you had a chance to talk to Henry yet?
No. Honestly, with what we were told, I just didn't know if we were able to. Haven't reached out. I will always be here for him. That won't change, and I'll prove that over the course of time to him, not to anybody else. But he needs people to love him right now. He's probably feeling a certain type of way about himself right now, and he needs to be loved. And if no one else will do it, I'll do it.
Two more guys will go Adam and Paul.
You mentioned a little bit ago, this time of the year has been a time you guys have had some lulls. You've had some lulls after bye weeks in the past too.
Yeah.
Do you guys discuss that? Do you ignore it and just say, hey, that's a mental thing? Is there an explanation for it? I guess how have you kind of approached those things?
I think so. We have player council meeting with I don't know the exact number, 15 guys of our leaders on the team with Coach Passacha, and it was addressed that this is a certain time of year where things happen, and certain teams go this way and other teams go this way, and we have to stay on top of everything that we believe and our effort and practice and our film study and the things that we don't talk about that we believe separate us. We have to stay on top of that, and we have to hold each other to that standard. Because if we don't, then we'll be one of those teams that goes the wrong way, and we don't want to be that. And nothing's promised if you just do things the right way, but it sure does help if we can look at things in the past and say, well, I think this will help us be better. As long as you're trying to get better, we're all going to try that way, and hopefully we can stay winning football games and stay efficient on offense and stopping people on defense. That's what it's about.
Derek, you touched on it earlier, but between compartmentalizing things and being human,
Yep.
how tough is this just to navigate as the quarterback you're facing, the franchise, the team leader?
It's hard. If I'd be lying to you if I was like, oh, it's easy. You know, I don't think that at all. It's not. I've always been honest with you guys, and it's yeah, it's not easy. You know, because I love people. I care deeply about people. I mean, there's people in this room that know that for sure, that I've had conversations with sitting at a table, because I just care about people, you know. And this one hurts, you know, because, again, it really affects some families, and it affected some lives, you know. And that hurts me, hurts my heart, because I know that there's pain, I know there's shame, I know that there's anger, probably, all those feelings that no one ever wants to feel or have towards them. I know that it's all there, and that's hard. You know, when you feel everything's coming crashing on you, I've had those feelings, you know, and having people to love you and support you is what helps the most. You know, you can't do it alone, and so it's not easy, you know, being a quarterback and being human. You know, I wish there was a certain way or someone to tell me this is exactly how you do it, because it'd be a lot easier. I think I got a good grasp on how to handle it, but it doesn't make it easy to do. You know, doing things the right way it sounds easy, but it's not easy to do, right? And so I'm trying my best. And again, maybe sometime in the off season I'll have time to think about all this. I will tell you, I walked by and I saw Henry's locker today, and for whatever reason that got me. You know, like he's not going to be there, you know, not because he's fast, not because of what he could do for me, but because of the person that he is, and because I love him. And he literally texted me at midnight, at a golf swing, you know, me and Hunter, you know, how's my swing look? You guys need to help me, you know. And bro, just seeing that, and then getting the news when we woke up, I don't even know how am I supposed to handle that? You know, how am I supposed to react? And I'm trying my best, I'm doing my best, but I do know that God is good, and I'm going to believe that for my entire life, and I'm going to believe that He can change situations and do things that, you know, we just can't comprehend sometimes. And I'm going to continue to believe that. My kids will believe that, and we'll keep preaching that even when people don't like it.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you guys.